Oh, there you are, YouTube. Do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. Hey, so my wife and I, what we're doing right now is watching some horror films in preparation for October, because in October, if you follow the channel, you know we have an advent calendar, sort of a Halloween countdown calendar, where instead of candy inside the pockets of the calendar, we have movie titles, so movies that we watch each day in October. And our list for October movies that we want to watch in October has grown so big, and we need to whittle it down, so we're actually getting a head start in September and watching some of those movies so that we don't have too many for October, because we want to watch them all, but we don't want to have to wait until next October to do that. So we're just getting a jump start on horror films. It's a little chilly outside these past couple days, so you know we're kind of in that fall vibe, that fall mood. So today what we watched was 2012's Sinister, starring Ethan Hawke and Mark Rylance's stepdaughter, and Vincent Don Furrow. Why can't I say it? Dion Furrow. I you know who it is. You know, sugar. I need sugar. That guy. Um, Vincent D'Onofrio. Darn it! Why can't I say it? Meat drapes. Vincent D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio. Did I say it right that time? Anyway, he's barely in it. Barely in it. Barely in it. But here's the thing. I did think this movie was pretty scary. You know, I was jumping at the jump scares. It wasn't only reliant on jump scares, though. There was some disturbing imagery in it. There was some spooky imagery in it. So it had all these kind of things going for it. And it, you know, relied on tropes that we've seen in other things. Like, a lot of this felt very Amityville horror. It felt very The Shining. I'm talking about a dad moving his family to a new home, and then the dad starts going a little weird, right? Or at least it starts to make you think that he's starting to go a little weird. But it turns out... well, I mean, he's noticing things in the house that, hey, things are not right here. Things are not right. But it's doing a lot of, so I don't know. It's 2012. Is it okay if I just talk about it? So this is probably spoilery-ish. We'll see what happens. Probably. So the main villain, scary guy or whatever, that face looking thing, Mr. Boogie, I've seen his image a lot. See, I've never seen this movie, but I've seen his image a lot. I wonder if they have Halloween masks or something of him at Spirit Halloween, because that all looked familiar. Or maybe his face just being on the internet back in 2012. Maybe I just remember that or something. But anyway, he looked very familiar. Maybe I just remember the marketing. But anyway, what was kind of weird about this, because it also had some The Ringness to it, because he's this ancient folklore mythic demon thing, Mr. Bugaya or whatever he was called, and he lives, and he's unlocked and freed through imagery. So you know, paintings and etchings and drawings and things, if you look at those, he can possess you and cause you to do certain things. And you know, this is first done, you know, with old materials, and then eventually it advances, because in the 60s he gets unleashed and he enters 8mm film, and then that 8mm film gets scanned in digitally, and then now he's living inside your MacBook in your iMovie files. So things get kind of silly, especially because there's this screen grab moment, not Kevin Bacon, Ethan Hawke takes this screen grab of him digitally, and it's sitting on his computer, and then all of a sudden it goes like this, and you're like, what? So it's like, I don't know. Once ghosts and things like that start living in your device, your digital device, it gets a little silly. So there's that. Also, these 8 millimeter films in which this guy, this little demon dude, was living in, um, he, it was like it was weird because it was almost like they were scored, and that was never answered. Like, who did the score for these movies? We eventually find out who's filming these movies. So these movies are like, we're seeing like murders take place in them, and we're like, who's doing it? Because we see the boogeyman hiding in the background of these. But so we're like, what is going on? Who is doing this? And honestly, it should have been very easy for me to figure out, but I didn't figure it out till the reveal. So here's some of the answers. So it's like these murders that are taking place with like full families, right? These full families, but there's always one person who isn't killed, but they've gone missing, and it's usually a young person. So you think like an innocent that was probably abducted or stolen or killed differently or something like that, right? But what it ends up being is that the person filming these videos is that kid, and it's the kid that's doing all this under the possession of Mr. Boogie, the boogeyman, right? Because he kind of uses them to do his bidding and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting. It seems so obvious now, but I really didn't get it until the reveal. So that was kind of funny. But I don't know. Thinking back on it, it was like I should have picked up on that right away. Who was filming these videos? But yeah, the weird thing was like it almost felt like they were scored, but it wasn't every time. Like every time, it was like when you first see the video, um, it sounds like it's scored, but then it like shows the video again, and then it's like different music, and it's like, wait a second, I thought this thing had a musical score. Who provided the musical score for this 8 millimeter movie that Ethan Hawke is watching of these families, being taken out with demons in a demon in the background, Um, so I still feel like I like that in a sense that it did spook me. I did get a little scared here and there. When I came down to the basement here, I turned on the light a little bit faster than I normally would. So it did freak me out. But, there's some silliness to it also. I think I won't go completely into the ending. I can let you check that out, but I did give a little bit away, I guess. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out the ending, because I think the ending was sort of shocking, abrupt, shocking. Because when it ended, my wife was like, "Huh? Wait, what? It's over? I didn't expect it to go that way. What? What?" So there was that, and I felt the same way. Like, I accepted the ending. She like almost didn't accept it. She was like, "We could rewind this. What did I miss?" But I was like, "No, I think that's it. I think that's how it goes." Um, so yeah, it was interesting seeing Ethan Hawke in something like this. Though, what have I seen him recently in? Oh, The Black Phone. So I don't know. Is he in more horror movies? How many horror films is he in? But it was interesting to see him. He's definitely the lead in this. Um, Vincent D'Onofrio does show up a little bit. He's just like a buddy that seems to know about folklore and stuff like that. That they Skype one another to get some info. I forgot to mention this, but Ethan Hawke, the reason he moved into this house that had a murder in it, right? And the reason he did that is because he's like a true crime writer, and he had one hit, and he's trying to create another hit. Maybe like all of his books have not, only one of them has been a big hit, and it's been like 10 years. So he's looking for another one. So he moves into this house that had a murder in it, and then when he's there, he finds the 8 millimeter film up in the attic and everything. But I thought that was kind of cool having a true crime writer, because that's really big right now with like podcasts and things like that. True crime television shows. It's just my wife's watching that sort of stuff all the time, so that was kind of cool to see that in a movie like that. And it didn't make it seem like it was just an average family that's like, what's going on? He kind of lived in this world pretty heavily, and so that was kind of interesting too, where he like had a lot of knowledge about this stuff, where a lot of times in these types of movies it's like, let's bring in somebody who knows more, which they kind of did even more with Vincent. So it's like, you know, Ethan Hawke's character knows a lot about like murders and stuff like that, but Vincent, his character, knows more about like folklore, so they kind of teamed up a little bit. So I guess that still happened, but it was cool to have a lead who kind of, has a grasp on a lot of the stuff. Is not just completely like what's going on. But yeah, overall, it has some silly stuff in it, but I still, in the end, it did freak me out here and there, spook me a bit. So I think it was successful at that. But anyway, if you've seen it, what do you think of it? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for a more Pure Hangout.